I have the craziest Paris story. Flying into Paris was the most craziest experience because we had to go down a bunch of flight of stairs to then just wait for the plane to be ready, and for some reason they didn't let us board the plane right away. We had to wait for like 20 minutes to just get on the plane. The flight was like 3 hours from Santorini to Paris, so it wasn't that bad. Getting off the plane in Paris, we had to wait 30 minutes for them to get the gate ready for us to get off of the plane. It was a headache. I don't know why my checked carry-on took so long to calm down the conveyor belt, but I had to wait like another 30 minutes, and then I was trying to get an Uber, and oh my gosh, that was the most difficult part for me, and I should have done a little bit more research on getting a cab out in Paris, like from the airport, because I ordered 2 Ubers and they could not come to my location in the terminal because the Uber in the Paris airports needs special key cards to go into the terminals. So I ordered 2 Ubers and I spent like an hour. I spent 30 minutes on each one communicating with them via the app, and then trying to find their location. I mean, that was it was difficult. It was challenging. It was the most challenging thing I had experienced. And I was a little bit upset when I landed in Paris. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. So what I ended up doing, since the 2 Uber drivers canceled on me, is that I walked to arrivals and some guy said taxi, and I was like, yeah. And then he was like, where are you going? So I gave him the address, and I was so scared for my life. I mean, this guy looked like a mafia guy. And I'm like, not to be judgmental, because I don't want to be judgmental, but I was a little bit scared because his looks, he wasn't ugly, but you know, the dental work, it was lacking. He was lacking there. So I thought he was like this mafia guy. I mean, obviously I had faith that I was gonna get to the Airbnb okay, because I was like, you know, I've made it this far. So let's keep on going. Come on, like, you got me, creator. You got me. Like, I just had faith that everything was gonna be okay, but I was just like, yo, like, when he said taxi and I noticed his dental work, I was hesitant. And then he told me he had a motorbike, and I'm like, let me see. I'm like, will my luggage fit in there? And he was like, yes. So he showed me the motorbike. I knew that he was a decent man because he had a picture of his child on the phone. So I'm like, okay, let's give this a shot. So we go to the motorbike, and he puts my backpack inside of, you know, basically the trunk of the bike. And then he puts my luggage and my bag via hooks, and I was like so scared that stuff was gonna be falling on my bag. He was like, come with me because it's traffic right now and we're gonna be dodging through traffic. Like, it's gonna take longer if you were to take a regular cab. So I was just like, okay, let's go. I give it a shot, and he put this big jacket on me. He put the helmet on me. I had a bun. When I took that helmet off, my head was just throbbing because I was just so afraid. Here's a clip of me on the back of the motorbike in Paris with my luggage, scared that this guy was gonna kidnap me and not take me to my hotel. It was a wild experience. Like, at the moment, I didn't think that it was like the perfect experience for me to end my trip off. And I was actually a little bit upset because he overcharged me. He charged me 150 euros to go from the airport into the city center. So I was a little bit upset, but I was a little bit upset, but someone made it up to me. Someone made it special for me. I felt a little bit better. I had someone, you know, give me exactly what I needed to hear, gave me the motivation to actually go out and explore Paris and not let this little one-off bad moment ruin my last day on my trip. I was in Paris for basically like 24 hours. Like, I only had a full day in Paris. The day that I landed, I was a little bit upset about the guy overcharging me. So I went out, I got me a little bottle of wine, I got some tacos, and I got me some fruits, some grapes in the grocery store. I was a little bit overwhelmed, so I was just like, nah, like, I can't be around people. It was just very overstimulating, and then plus me being a little bit upset about the guy overcharging me, I was just like, I'm just gonna stay in the room. So I stayed in the room and I ate and I went to sleep. The tacos were pretty good. They weren't that bad. And the best part about it, after the guy overcharged me, he was like, oh, here, take my WhatsApp so you can make reservations so I can take you back to the airport. And I was like, sure. Like, I grabbed his information, but I didn't write him on WhatsApp. And I'm like, no, I'm not. In my head, I was like, no, I'm not contacting you again. And I mean, I should have asked him when I was there in the airport with him, when he said taxi, and I should have asked him how much it would be when I gave him the address so that he could see it on the maps. But I was just so upset with just the Ubers canceling on me that I didn't. So, I mean, it was what it was. Now looking back at it, the experience was, it was a once in a lifetime experience. So I'm not too mad about it now. It was so crazy. I love it now. Like, I was just like, it was the craziest thing I've ever done. Like, going to a foreign country. You don't speak no French. And you get on the back of a motorbike, like, with luggage. That was crazy to me. And I really liked Paris. I really warmed up to Paris. I did get some vlogging footage, so here it is. My first day here in Paris. I had a crazy flight yesterday. And getting off of the airplane took so long because they didn't have a gate. And then trying to get an Uber, oh my gosh, like, getting an Uber was wild. I ordered 2 and none of them could come to the terminal rideshare pickup, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, why do you have it if Ubers cannot go there? They needed a special, like, key card or something. But we're here making the best of it. I got coffee this morning, and it's so cold. Like, it's freezing in Paris. I didn't think it would be this cold. I'm walking to the museum now. I'm gonna go to the Louvre, and I'm only here until tomorrow, so the sun goes down pretty late, so I'll probably go see the Eiffel Tower, but yeah. One thing I noticed about Paris is that it was so loud. Like, everywhere you turned, there was a police siren or an ambulance going by, and it reminded me so much of New York City. What an experience. It was crazy. People were just interested in seeing the Mona Lisa. Like, they didn't really care about none of the other artwork. But nonetheless, it was a good experience. My last morning in Paris, I spent it feeding the birds and sitting across from a nursery school. You can hear the kids in the background shouting, and it just made me feel at home and so peaceful. I was actually sitting in front of a firehouse, which was pretty cool. I really liked Paris. Towards the end of the trip, I warmed up to it. It was so cold in Paris. I was like, whoa, like I was not ready for this weather. People were walking around in jackets. I just had like a sweater. I did have like a long sleeve, but it was like sheer, and it was actually my airport outfit. So I used that, but I did walk around with a short sleeve shirt, so it wasn't too bad. Coming back home from Paris was chaotic. The Paris airport is just so big and there's so much going on. There's so much people. My flight got delayed 3 hours. Okay, my flight first was delayed 1.5 hours. I don't know, the plane arrived late. Boarding was crazy. It took like another 1.5 hours. And then when we get on the plane, they're like, we need to do maintenance on the plane, so we can't take off for another 1.5 hours. And I was like, I was just like so ready to go home, like please. I didn't end up getting home until the next day. I didn't end up getting home until late night, like 2 in the morning. And I was just like, all right, like, you know, it is what it is. But at least the kind of like bad experiences like really happened towards the end of the trip. So I got to really enjoy my trip. Let me just say, it was a challenging experience. Planning everything and then just walking around, living like a local, acting like a local, it was challenging. What I really loved is that English is really considered the second language of the world. So anywhere you go, I mean, obviously I was asking first, like, do you speak English? And they would say yes. And I would talk to them in English. And it was nice because I was able to communicate with people. I did learn some words. It was challenging, but it was a nice experience for me. And in Paris, I did visit the Louvre Museum, and that was nice. And then I went to go see the Eiffel Tower, and that was nice. I was like bopped during Paris, like, because it was just like the taxi experience threw me off a little bit, but it was a good experience. Paris had the strongest drinks, like they had the strongest drinks. Overall, I really challenged myself during this trip, and I learned that sky's the limit. I came back stronger and wiser, having gone through these challenges, picking up and leaving everything for 12 days. And it was challenging, but it was worthwhile. I got to really enjoy myself. I was wandering, exploring, living my best life. And this was a solo trip that I took on my own. If you guys want to see the pictures that I took, go to my Instagram, rose__p.p. That is my personal Instagram. You will enjoy the pictures. The pictures are beautiful. I mean, I was glowing, and I still am glowing. And it was like me entering into my feminine era. And not to say that I wasn't there before, because I was like on the crisp, but now totally there. Like, I'm here in my feminine era, living my best life, and I'm not scared of anything anymore. I went to a whole other country, and I was there for 12 days visiting 4 different cities, living like a local. And it was just nice that I could pick up and do that, and I was able to have that time off from work, and I was able to have care for my son. So it was really nice. It was really special, and it was exactly what I needed. You know, you need a break sometimes. You need to make sure that you're okay before you're trying to make sure that someone else is okay. You can't make sure that someone else is okay before you, because you're not going to be able to fully help them. You're not going to be able to really be in your power and help them to your full potential if you're not 100% yourself. So that was something that I really, you know, realized. And at first I was like, oh my God, I'm leaving my son for 12 days. I've never done that before. But I was just like, it's okay. Like, he's gonna be okay. He spent the time with his dad. He lived a better life than me. I was surprised. I was like, okay, all right. His dad really did his thing with him, and it was what he needed too. Like, you know, you need a break sometimes from the kids, because the kids will drive you wild. So, and plus, it's okay to take 12 days off from 365 days. So I really enjoyed myself. I had a great time. I had a great experience. Would I do it again? Yes. Am I gonna be doing it again soon? Probably, yes. I'm gonna be doing it soon. And I love that the trip was exactly what I needed it to be. I learned lots of things. I learned different cultures. I saw beautiful artwork. I saw that details make what things are, and it was lovely. It was very nice. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. It was not your typical vlog style video, but I'm gonna be back to going on the regular with uploading videos and making videos. So I'm back. I enjoyed my little time off, but I'm here. So make sure that you're shining your light bright. Make sure that you continue to pour into yourself before pouring into someone else, and make sure that you're out here really living life and paying attention to the small little details that make life so special and give you that connection to the infinite and give you that connection to the creator and God, the one and only. You'll feel a connection that you've never felt before. Being able to connect through nature and to connect through sounds, it's about being able to connect to this greater intelligence that it's not only caged in your mind, but it's about the world and everyone else around you. So it was nice to be able to connect with that intelligence, and I'm still connecting through the intelligence through my experiences now. If you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, comment down below, let me know any questions that you have about my trip, anything at all. I'm willing to answer them. I'm willing to do a full video on it, on how I just planned everything. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Later.